It's so funny how when you talk about something and attempt to share that something, you then get tested with that exact something. And you know, last week I was talking about what is your why, and if it's not strong enough, you know, then it's not going to sustain you through when times are looking a little bleak. And that's what I had to live up to this week. I had to make sure that my why for what I was doing was strong enough, and it proved to be, and I'm so pleased by that and happy about that and proud of that. And you know, last week I got a chance to partake in some group therapy sessions for practice while I'm finishing school up and looking towards a new position that I'm looking towards. And the whole week kind of ended up being about vulnerability and what that really means and why it's so necessary for connection and all of these different things that we do in our life, and how it's really like the crux to any interpersonal relationships that we have, whether that's client, counselor, student, teacher, parent, child, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, whatever. It is the crux of it all. And not only is vulnerability at the crux of all of those different interpersonal relationships, but vulnerability is a necessity. It's a necessary part of growth. And I learned that this week. I had to put myself in a position to be extremely vulnerable, to put myself out there, to ask for something that I didn't know, you know, was gonna work out. I didn't know if it was gonna work out in my favor or not. I just had to trust. I had to trust that God, you know, has brought me to this place for a reason, and I had to really, you know, make sure that I believed that for myself, and it wasn't just something that I say. I had to prove that I believed that, and I had to prove myself to be strong enough to be vulnerable in order to grow, in order for growth to happen. It is the amount of vulnerability that is necessary for your growth is, woo, it's like an exponential amount. But that's really what I was able to take away from the past week in working in those sessions. You know, I had the opportunity to work with some really incredible people with amazing hearts, and you know, they're people who want to see the best in other people. And unfortunately, you just don't find that too often anymore. But I was blessed enough to be in the company of these individuals, and it really touched me, and that situation forced me to be vulnerable on one hand, but on the other hand, coming into this next week after learning those tools through vulnerability, I had to actually apply it this week. And it was just amazing how they came full circle, because that's how everything happens in life. You know, the minute you start talking about something, then it's like, oh, well, prove that you can do it now. And that was the position I was in. I didn't feel like vlogging. I didn't feel like talking or anything at the beginning of the week. This week, I was in my own funk. I was in my own mood. I wasn't, you know, I was in my own feelings and emotions. But I'm glad that I felt them. You know, these days, everything is about get out your feelings and don't be in your feelings and da 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 da. But I've really vowed to trust my feelings and to experience them and to feel my feelings and to not be ashamed of that. And I'm glad that I did, because I had to go through that process of feeling and truly understanding why it was that I was feeling that way in order to get to the other side. You know, I'm very happy about that. I'm very proud of myself for that, and I'm proud to say that the position I'm in now is not in a place of fear. You know, I was able to step out on faith, use that vulnerability to my advantage, and, you know, walk in confidently, even in a situation that was extremely scary. And I'm very proud of that, and I'm very happy about that, and I just can't wait to see where the rest of it goes. So just, you know, don't be afraid to be vulnerable. You know, it creates this cycle, because that vulnerability creates that fear, and then that fear creates that vulnerability, and then it's like on and on and on. But if you're not afraid to experience that vulnerability, true growth happens. Oh yeah, we don't need that. We're on our way to celebrate Valentine's early, because it's on a Tuesday.
Got the club going up.
Okay.
On a Tuesday.
Don't let him fool you. We're old people. We're not going to the club. But I'm excited. It should be fun. It's an event at Health's Kitchen. And yeah, turn that ratchet stuff off. We're going back in time for the swing dance era, so I'm excited. Valentine's Day is coming up on Tuesday, and it's always such like a much bigger deal when you're single, I guess. People put a lot of weight on it, and it's fun when you're with someone, but just remember that it's about showing love everywhere. It's not just about being in a relationship. So you can show love to your parents, you can show love to your grandparents, you can show love to your siblings, and have that love brought to you in return. And if you are with someone, then still continue to show that love, and remember that it's about the time and effort that you put in, not about the money. So just remember that and have fun with whatever you do. You gonna have fun?
All I know is back in elementary school, Valentine's Day was lit. I used to get
we used to get a bunch of Valentines, huh?
All kind of Valentines.
Like you would make the little like the little pouches,
yep,
and put them on the side of your desk.
It was lit.
And then we would count up. You would come home. It was almost like it was Halloween with all the candy you get.
Man,
it was legit. We should actually start that for adults.
That was the first DMs I ever had.
In your Valentine's Valentine's pouch,
yep,
in first grade. He been sliding in people's DMs. He slid up in my DM. That's how he won't admit it, but that's what he did. Almost 3 years ago, but it's cool. But yeah, just show some love to somebody that needs it. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Bye. We've come to the conclusion that we're true old people at heart. The Valentine's event, we're gonna learn how to swing dance. Are you ready to learn how to swing dance?
I'm ready.
He's such a good sport. He's down for anything. This is our first course, our salad. Chocolate covered strawberry